All right, here we go. So like I told you, this is just another form of graphing the same thing. I think you will find vertex. I think vertex is the easiest. Intercept's the next easiest. We'll start with the easy one and work our way up a little bit. But standard is by far the hardest form to work in because they don't give you anything. You have to literally calculate everything. The vertex, the easy point, everything. So let me show you what it looks like first. Y'all try to contain your excitement now. Now remember, standard form. I'm fixing to tell you.
Like, I was fine until you added that.
Okay, but remember, before you get all stressed out because of the variables, remember standard form was ax squared plus bx plus c. So there was an a, b, and a c. So you still see the a here, but instead of b and c, I have an h and a k. All right? So here's what this does. The a in the front does exactly the same thing it did before. It tells me up or down, and it tells me skinny or wide. So when you're in standard form, your ax squared plus bx plus c, you know how you have to go through and find the vertex. Opposite b over 2a, then you have to take that and you have to plug it back in, and it's a big hassle, right? This is called vertex form because the vertex is in the formula. The vertex is HK. And what you have to remember, because there's a minus sign in the middle here, when you look at the way the formula is written, the H is going to be opposite sign, the K is going to be same sign as what they are in the equation. Now you can be in vertex form and be missing one of these two, just like you could be missing a B, okay? If one of them are missing, then they're 0. A couple of examples. All right, let's. I do it a lot. I do it a lot. Can you recognize this being vertex form as opposed to standard form?
Yes.
There's one set of parentheses. On the outside of parentheses, there's a square. It looks like the other did. What is A here? 1/2. So that tells me, does it open up or down? Up, because it's positive. Is it skinny, wide, or average? Wide. Good job. What would the vertex be here?
1.
Yes. Why is it not -1?
Because they're the opposite sign.
It's the opposite. How much easier is that?
Wait, that's all we have to do?
Well, to find the vertex, so now all I'd have to do is my easy point, reflect, and connect.
Oh my goodness.
You see what I'm saying? I've completely wiped out that whole first step. Okay, let me give you another easy.
So H is negative.
What is A?
1, 0.
1. This time, if you're adding or subtracting and it's not there, it's 0. If you're multiplying, it's not there, it's 1. So it's 1. What does that mean?
It's average.
Average. It's an average width. I'm missing something.
Your
My K. So what is 0? 0. So what is the vertex here?
-3.
You got it.
That's all we're doing today.
An intercept form. It's fun. Let's graph. I'm going to set up a step sheet for you.
Wait, I'm still. We have 30 minutes left.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay. So I'm going to do your steps in the first column, and I'm going to do your example here. So the first thing we want to do is find and plot the vertex. The only difference is it's easy now. What is the vertex in my example on the right?
-1.
-1, -2. So maybe we should put a note in here. Remember, you might reference this chart as you go back and can't remember how to do it. So maybe make yourself a note that H is opposite sign and K is same sign. Easy enough.
I just went back a minute and realized that every time I tried to write sign, I wrote side. I was confused.
Wait, what do you mean same sign?
Negative, positive.
Because here it's a +1, so here it was -1 when I found the vertex.
Oh, that's 8, right?
So H is opposite, K is the same. K was negative in these places, so it's negative in the vertex. So it's opposite same. All right, I'm going to plot it. -1, -2. Actually, I'm just going to plot it right here, I think. -1. Here's my vertex, and I'm going to go ahead and put my axis of symmetry through the middle. So now I need what? It starts with E. Easy point. I can't use the y-intercept anymore because that's not necessarily my y-intercept anymore. So what I want to do is I want to stay close to the vertex. I'm going to say if you take the vertex, which was H, and add 1, that'll be good. And then, of course, we plug in. So ISIS is 0 because we're going to take where we are and we're going to add 1 to it and we get 0. So let's plug it in and see what happens. Yeah, sure. Tell me when you're caught up. All right, let's plug it in. Always going back to that original equation. It's not X anymore. It's 0 plus 1 squared minus 2. Parentheses first, followed by exponents. So 2 times. What do you get? 0. Well, 1 squared is 1. I just did it in my head. But you can do it and do your steps. But you do want to make sure you do all your exponents first and then multiply. All right, so 0, 0 is my easy point. It is a real easy point. Now what do? Reflect and connect. Come on. Oh! Reflect and connect. So it's still 3 steps, but all the arithmetic from step 1 is gone now. We just pull the equation.
I love it. It's that process.
You know what I'm fixing to ask you?
No.
Domain and range?
Yes.
What did you say?
Domain and range. What's the domain? Yep. Because it always is on my quadratics here. How about the range? Lowest the graph goes is what? -2 up to what you think about vertex form?
It's really
Good.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
It's hard, doesn't it?
It what?
It's harder.
Vertex doesn't get much harder. Intercept's a little bit trickier, but if you understand what it is you're finding, it's not too bad. All right, let's talk about intercept real quick.
See, I love when math uses it's a little bit tricky when you have a degree in this thing. Like, a little bit trickier is not really tricky. And when math teachers realize this, really can find out really well.
I won't say tricky.
What would you say?
Why I just say
Harder.
One more challenge.
It's not as challenging as standard form, I'll say that.
Uniform is like my go-to.
And it still can be. If you're a pro with foiling and multiplying, you can put anything in standard form. You just have to rearrange it.
But that's extra steps, man.
That is extra steps. Intercept form. What is an intercept? Cross is an axis. That's right. Yes. You can have, guys, you can have X-intercepts, you can have Y-intercepts. Let me ask you this, just as a little review challenge. How do you find, if you have an equation, any equation, how would you find the X-intercepts of that equation? Absolutely. Make the Y 0 and solve. And then vice versa for the others. If you want to find the Y-intercept, you make X 0 and solve, right? Okay. Huh?
This is still 1, 2.
This is still 1, 2, yes. Yeah.
Can't you just do X minus P squared?
Nice catch. I apologize. Because it's actually supposed to be a Q. I'm sorry.
I thought it was supposed to be easier.
Y'all were like, what? But that was good. Then it would have been back to vertex form. Okay. This form, 2 parentheses, gives you 2 points. And those 2 points are the 2 X-intercepts. Okay. A still does the same. We're still up, down, skinny, wide. But what this is saying is P0 and Q0, opposite signs, are 2 points on the graph. Those are the 2 places where it crosses the x-axis. Okay? Do you understand why it has 2 x-intercepts and not 1? One, 2. It's X-intercepts, not Y-intercepts. Okay.
Does that say opposite signs?
Yes. Now, if you think about the properties of parabolas and what you know, if you have 2 points on either side, what am I missing? What do I need to find the graph in?
Vertex.
The vertex. So the vertex should lie on the axis of symmetry. How might you find that axis of symmetry? Okay, what if you couldn't count? What if it was like 1/3 and -6 5/3 or something? I mean, something absurd. You're along the right track. Yes, you would find in the middle of the 2, right? Exactly in the middle of these 2 points should lie the axis of symmetry. So, yes, it is the X part of the midpoint formula. It is averaging the 2 together is what it's doing.
Is the midpoint formula?
The X portion of it, yes. You don't have to do the whole thing. You know how the midpoint formula is just X1 plus X2 over 2?
So
Yes.
just do the X.
You're averaging them together is what you're doing. But that's great. That's great. Y'all remember that. Okay. If we're talking about how we find in the middle of 2 points. So if you have the point 2 and the point 8, to find in the middle of 2 and 8, you would add them together and divide by 2. Halfway between 2 and 8 would be 5.
Yeah.
That's all you did. You added them and divided by 2. Same thing. That's all the midpoint formula does. They were saying use the midpoint formula of these 2.
So the average.
What was the P
Yes.
and the Q thing?
The P and the Q are the places where they cross. So this is P and this is Q. I'm going to show you with numbers.
Okay.
I'm just getting, remember I'm starting vague and I'm going to hone in on it.
Come on, don't see yourself.
Like hone in on it?
Don't see yourself.
You never heard that before? No? Okay. Okay. Let's say I have. If this is my equation, is it up or down?
It's up.
Up, skinny or wide? Skinny because 2 is bigger. This is telling me 2 places where it crosses the x-axis. Tell me what those 2 places are.
Close. -1 and 3.
Opposite signs. -1 and 3. Okay. So what that's saying is if I have this, -1 and 3. I don't know. I know it's opening up. I don't know. I haven't shown you yet, but it's doing something, but that's where it's going to cross. Okay, so the
So this
X-Intercepts. Go ahead.
This equation we're finding the 2 points of the parabola and not the vertex? Or like,
Absolutely.
it's not giving...
This one, whereas the other one eliminated step 1, this is eliminating steps 2 and 3. Yes, you're absolutely right. Okay. So let's talk about let me talk about what we were talking about with averaging them just now. If you want to find in the middle, sure, you could count. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, so 1, 2 would be exactly in the middle, right? Because the original formula is x minus p and x minus q.
Oh, it's just a minus to make it 3 or positive.
That's right. If you force the minuses in there, that's what would happen. So I know that x equals 1 is my axis of symmetry. Okay, and just so you know what we did, if you can't count, I didn't mean you can't count, I meant, oh man, the numbers are too hard to count, like you have fractions and things in there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add them together, actually. And divide by 2. How would you, given that we know x equals 1 is the axis of symmetry, how would you then find where on that axis of symmetry the vertex lies?
You would plug it in.
Plug it in, plug it in.
That's a song?
Yes, it's like a little commercial.
Yeah, it used to be for like Glade plugins.
What is a plug-in?
So air freshener.
Yeah.
But
Air
it's all-
fresheners that plug in.
Oh, like the blades?
I was playing. Look up there. All right, let's do a step sheet. How about it? A step sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. 2 times, we're using 1. 1 plus 1 and 1 minus 3. Oh, it's hot in here. Come on,
Wait, so
right.
once we do the axis of symmetry,
Yes. So negative 8. Now I can do the step sheet. First thing I want to do is find and plot. It's been vertex every time. This time it's intercepts. Intercepts. So we have P and we have Q, but these are opposite signs.
What's the squiggly thing between?
it's just dividing it and showing that.
Showing that both of them are opposite sides.
Oh, yeah, it was just a bracket. Ooh, that was a little scary. Other questions before we move on? No? What's wrong? Okay, so we plotted, like, I don't even know what to ask at this point. We plotted these two. That's basically all we've done is the 3 and the 7 with the opposite signs, okay? Now I need to find in the middle. So I need to find the axis of symmetry. And to do that, I'm going to take P and Q together and divide them by 2. Still opposite signs. Anytime you use them, they are opposite signs. So here, P is 3, Q is 7. This is step 2, by the way, which is, which you could have counted on this one.
I didn't put that
Now you plug in 5, whatever you get here, you plug back in to find 1.
Oh, I don't think we did number 2 without ever writing number 1. So we still.
You what? Oh, well, because number 1 was,
I know, I just don't like it.
okay, we'll put 1, P equals 3, Q equals 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, yes, always opposite signs. I heard somebody say these. Yeah, always opposite signs. So it's 2. My Z's have lines through them. This is a 2.
You're gonna have to do this all.
That's it. No, y'all are good. Plug in to find Y. Five minus 3 and 5 minus 7.
The last step.
This is the last step. Besides connect, I think you know to connect at this point. Negative 4. Bet you can't guess the domain. Who would have thunk it? How about the range?
Negative 4.
Yes. Yes.